In Cochise County, the agency's future involves replacing some Normandy-style fencing with 18 to 30-foot tall bollard fencing along mountainous terrain. According to documents from CBP, the project begins several miles east of Douglas and continues for 19 miles, crossing the San Bernardino National Wildlife Refuge. The Army Corps of Engineers contracted with Southwest Valley Constructors to build the wall. Our crew saw early work underway at a remote site leased from a rancher who told me crews are drawing groundwater from the property for a cement batch plant. The city of Douglas also signed an 18-month agreement to provide water services and lease land near the Douglas Municipal Airport. Douglas's finance director estimates the contractor will use between 200,000 and 500,000 gallons a month. He added that the city's daily water production averages about 5 million gallons a day. City officials anticipate an economic boost from the project as the influx of construction workers seek lodging and spend locally. Since the 90s, infrastructure along the border in and around Douglas has changed drastically. Police Chief Craig Fullen is a lifelong resident who joined the force 22 years ago. We discussed how built-up barriers have impacted public safety.
Growing up here, my recollection of the border barrier was a dilapidated barbed wire fence and an unimproved ditch. With the infrastructure that's been put in, prior to that, the trend was for people to come across fairly freely and for that movement to be both north and south. With the influx that we had at that time, and this is like the late 90s into the early 2000s, it was very problematic because we had those people running into our neighborhoods, hiding in yards, trying to evade law enforcement.
I think people who don't live in Douglas or aren't from here think of the border as a dangerous place. I mean, you're the top cop in this community. Would you say that's true?
I think the perception is there, definitely. We do get inquiries from time to time, Little League teams that are coming from either out of town or out of state, wanting to know if it's safe for their child to come down and participate in a tournament. That's kind of the challenge that we have as well, is trying to overcome that stigma of being an unsafe community because of our location here on the border, when in fact our experience is to the contrary. I consider our community very safe. I think the true advocates of that are the community members themselves.
With 34 officers, Fullen says the ability to collaborate with CBP and other law enforcement agencies benefits his city of about 16,000 people. It may surprise people, though, to know that you have a relationship with authorities south of the border. And when you talk about the way of life, I mean, this really is just sort of one place that happens to have a huge fence in between.
Right, and honestly, it hasn't always been that way. I think in my tenure here, we've relied on our federal partners because of the relationships that they've established with our counterparts in Mexico, and we've been able to rely on those relationships versus establishing our own. I can say that that has changed most recently with the chief that's there now for the municipal agency. We have had collaboration together. We've had his staff over for training a couple of times now within the last year. So we are engaged in conversation with them a lot more frequently than we were in the past.
Across the border from Douglas lies the city of Agua Prieta, a community of nearly 100,000. Marcus Vinicius Ornelas Quesada has been the chief of police for the last 6 years and oversees nearly 100 officers. How would you describe relations between your department and authorities in Arizona?
The relationship between police in Arizona and police in Mexico these days is the best it's been. There's coordination between municipalities like Douglas and states with federal authorities like Customs and Border Protection and the Border Patrol.
Last June, Agua Prieta made headlines after shootouts in the city left several people dead. Wary of any spillover violence, the Arizona Department of Public Safety sent backup to the area. Would you say the border is a dangerous place?
No, the United States is more dangerous. In 6 years, we only had 2 days of violence. And for those years, Agua Prieta was considered one of the safest border cities. It still is. It was only those 2 days where there was violence. And those were isolated cases between rival groups. They had a dispute, and it was done. There hasn't been any other violence. It's a safe place.
I asked if the border wall does anything for the community of Agua Prieta.
las armas pasan por la aduana.
I mean, how's it going to help us? The firearms go through the port of entry, so it doesn't really help us. We lose our view. The animals can't cross. It's a wall that was built a long time ago. It's not new. It has been here for 15 years. So does it help us?
¿Nos ayuda a qué?
No, I don't think it does in a positive way.
Outside the port of entry, we saw several makeshift tents along the sidewalk. Chief Ornelas Quesada says immigrants from Central America with permits travel through Mexico and wait here until they can request asylum. Immigration authorities in the United States have told me that Mexico has really stepped up its work here along the border. Do you see that?
Sí, siempre se ha reforzado la
Yes, sure. The border has always been reinforced. There's federal border police, now the Border National Guard. They help us patrolling the border. The local police do the same, they do their part, and that's so immigrants who try to enter the U.S. don't get hurt.
se lastimen.